Hello class, welcome to this video on 6.3, 6.4. So we're going to talk about the practice problems from the practice quiz. So let's go ahead and get started. Now these are again not in a particular order, so it's supposed to be a mixed bag of 6.3, 6.4 problems. So question 1. So 6.3 is about parallelograms or properties of parallelograms, and 6.4 is showing that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So some of these questions are asking, is it a parallelogram? If it is a 6.4 type question. 6.3 is, what are the properties of the parallelogram? Let's solve for a side or for an angle, okay? So question 1, for what values is this a parallelogram? So, you know, we need to know the properties of parallelograms. So 6.3-ish stuff. All right, so we know that for a parallelogram that each of the it has two sets of parallel sides. So these pairs are parallel. And we also know that the parallel sides are congruent. So this is congruent to that, and this pair is congruent. Okay, so we know that much for a parallelogram. We should be able to solve this question with that knowledge, because we know that this has to be congruent to this in that case, or equal, and this has to be equal to this. And those are my two equations that I can set up. So let's go ahead and set up those two equations. We know that the top side is equal to the bottom side, and we'll also set the red ones equal to each other. So let's do the left side is equal to the right side. Okay, we can solve these two equations. So let's do the block equation first. We'll subtract 2a on both sides to get a's on the left side. So now we got 2a plus 3 equals 11. Go ahead and subtract 3 just to get the numbers out on the right side. We have 2a equals 8, and then we'll finish it off with divide by 2, so a equals 4. All right, next we're going to solve the red equation. We're going to subtract 2b just to get the b's on the left side. We get 4b minus 2 equals 6. Make sure you bring these down. And then you add 2 to both sides. Finish it up, divide by 4. And so 4 times 2 is 8. So b is 2. So we got our values 4 and 2. And those values, if you plug them in, will ensure that these opposite sides are congruent, and then therefore ensures that this is a parallelogram. All right, question 2. What are the values of A, B, and DE in parallelogram ABCD? Again, very similar to what we did earlier. We know that, and instead of solving for x, we know the numbers, we know the sides. So we know that this side has to be congruent to this side, right? So they have to be the same measure. Now, so this is 26. Now they told us this part is 22. So we need to figure out what that is. Well, we know that the whole side has to be 26, right? So 22 plus whatever this question mark is, which we'll call x, is equal to 26. We know that those two parts have to add to 26, and therefore this is got to be 4. So we'll subtract 22, so x is 4. That means that this part is 4, and if we add those, we get a total of 26, which is exactly what we need. So ED is 4, and we also know that this is congruent to this, and that makes it a parallelogram. So if that's 13, this is 13, so AB is 13. All right, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. We got, for what value of x must ABCD be a parallelogram? So this is a property of parallelograms as it relates to the diagonals. So in a parallelogram, when you have intersecting diagonals, it cuts the diagonals in half. So they'll meet at a point, which you can call the midpoint of the diagonal, which cuts the diagonal in half. And so since we know that this left side is 6x, we know that this right side is 7x, we know that they have to be equal to each other for a parallelogram. So we're going to set them equal, and we can solve this. So what I'll do is I'll subtract 7x on both sides, because we already got the x on the right side, so we might as well move it to the right side. So So we got here minus 3 equals 6 minus 7 is negative 1. So this is negative 1x. And then I'll divide by negative 1 on both sides. And that'll be 3. So x is equal to 3. All right, question 4. So if xz is 7x minus 4, so we have here xz, that is 7x minus 4, and pz is x plus 8. What is xp? All right, so you can see that the red and the blue add up to the black. So basically, and we also know that the red is congruent to the blue. It's cut in half. That's one of the properties of the diagonal for a parallelogram. So therefore, if this is x plus 8, right? Then that means this also has to be x plus 8. That blue one also has to be x plus 8. So if I do x plus 8 plus x plus 8, that should equal the black, okay, which is the total of 7x minus 4. So we have x plus 8 plus x plus 8 equals 7x minus 4. And that's my equation. Now we combine the like terms here. So we have x plus x is 2x. 8 times 8 is 16. Now I want x to be positive, so I'm going to move this over, subtract that by to get rid of it, and I'm going to make it positive on the right side. So this can be 5x. Bring down the minus 4, of course bring down the 16 and the equal sign. Then we'll add the 4 to both sides. So we have 20 equals 5x. We can divide by 5, and that will get rid of the 5, so 20 divided by 5 is 4. So we got x is 4, and so then if we want xp, we just have to plug it in here to get xp. So it's simply going to be 4 plus 8, which is 12. So we know that xp is 12. All right, the next question, find the value of the variable in parallelogram ABCD. So this question, it was actually different in the original practice quiz, but I went ahead and changed it because there was a typo with that question. So this is the new question. So if I want to find the value of the variable, so we don't have a diagram here. So we're just going to draw a generic parallelogram ABCD. And it says AB is 4x plus 7 and CD is 9x minus 23. Okay, well, because it's a parallelogram, we know that these have to be congruent. So therefore, we can set them equal to each other. So we have here minus 4x. So we got 5x minus 23, then we'll move the 23 to the other side, leaving us with 30 equals 5x, divide by 5, so x equals 6. Okay, so we got x equals 6. Now, if you put in some of these answers and you got them wrong, that probably means that you have an old version of the quiz and you want to resubmit your quiz and start over again. But this is the correct answer since I had to change the question. All right, the next question, we have find the value of A in the parallelogram shown to the right. Note that the figure is not drawn to scale. So we have two angles here. Well, we have one angle that we know, a constant angle, and we have another angle, which we don't know the value of A. But we do know one thing about the parallelogram, aside from the fact that these are parallel. Well, because we have two parallel pairs of lines, that means that whatever this angle is has to be supplementary to whatever this angle is. And for a parallelogram, because like we mentioned earlier, if these are parallel and this is my transversal, well then those are same side interior angles, and therefore they add up to 180. Remember, that's a theorem in Chapter 2 for same-side interior angles. Also, we know that, and these are called consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles add up to 180, and then these are opposite angles, and opposite angles we know for a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, so that means that these are the same measure. So these are congruent since they're opposite angles. So we can say with confidence that this angle 3a plus 48 has to be equal to 108 if it's a parallelogram. So we can solve for a. We'll subtract 48 on both sides. Then we'll divide by 3. And so a equals 20. Okay, so just to reiterate, the consecutive angles, those angles that are next to each other, add up to 180. The opposite angles are congruent. So the next question, we have, for what value of x must ABCD be a parallelogram? It's very similar to the ones that we did. So we know that these have to be congruent, because for a parallelogram, so we'll subtract 10x on both sides. And go ahead and add 7 to both sides. Then finish it off, divide by 6, and you get x equals 2. All right, that's going to do it for the video, guys. So I hope you found this useful. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.